It's white to move and win in this endgame study, and the solution is not obvious. Although black has a pawn that's getting really close to promote, our king is right nearby if we need to stop it, and they just have a bishop that's a little bit cut off. Also, our knight is currently under attack from the black king. If we just push it, it is true that black can't capture this knight because now there's no way that black can get back to the pawn before it queens. However, black doesn't have to take the knight. They can just go after the pawn after we push it. And now it's going to fizzle out to a draw because there's no way for us to stop them from capturing this. So in the starting position, there's already this nice wall that's sort of created by the knight and the pawn. So the king can't really get at the pawn currently. But how do we make progress? If we simply move the knight out of the line of attack, even with check, then we lose that nice wall that we had. And even if we try to go the other way, then in this case, black can not attack the knight, but again, attack the pawn. And they're going to be able to reroute their bishop to a better diagonal and stop all of your threats. The f pawn is already doing a really important job, so simply wasting a turn with the f pawn, they can just use that opportunity to reroute the bishop to a more useful square and attack the knight, and once again reach a drawn position. So what if we just capture the pawn? That seems like a useful waiting move. In this case, because we've moved the king onto this dark square, black can even capture the knight, and if we try to push the pawn, they get to throw in this useful check first. So now wherever we move, they can stop the pawn. White is not going to be able to make any progress. So the winning move is by playing the brilliant move King H1, keeping ourselves on a light square away from any checks from the bishop, keeping our little cage around the king, as well as these two very important checks that the knight has, and forcing black to pick a move. So once again, if they capture the knight, this time they're losing. The pawn is going to queen. If they go here or here with the king, then they will no longer be able to catch the pawn anymore. And if they try to go here as a waiting move so that they can still maybe catch the pawn, unfortunately that runs into the immediate fork, knight f5. And the main theme of this endgame study, that of the knight being able to dominate the bishop, is the fact that no matter which square the bishop goes to, notice that it can't go to e3 because the pawn will just take it, but every single other square is going to get hit by a knight check and picking up wherever the bishop goes. So this is a beautiful little flower pattern, but if we try a few moves, let's move the bishop this way, we get hit with this knight check and we're picking up the bishop. So even this one, you're getting hit the other way. And white should be able to simply run their pawn up the board with support of the king